All right, so that was definitely a very good top set. I felt really strong. And one thing I really want to point out is I didn't really lose power at the bottom. I went back and rewatched the first squat video of the block, and I saw that when I went down, like I could get some pretty good depth, but my back lost position a little bit. And I think that's mostly thanks to tightening my lats. I really tried to make it feel like I was doing a lat pull down. And the bar was super secure on my back. It didn't slide at all. It barely even wobbled when I went all the way up. My sticking point was also pretty much non-existent. One thing I do want to work on a little bit is my depth, because I noticed that there were more of them that were bare minimum. So I think that tightening my lats helped me keep power when I was down in the hole, but it also stopped me from going below parallel. So I just need to work a little bit on being a little bit more comfortable with getting deeper, since I don't really have to worry about losing position anymore. And before we get into what I wanted to talk about today, I do want to say that rounding my back slightly on RDLs, like the range of motion was a lot shorter. The first rep I did with it, it felt weird because I thought that I just wasn't going down all the way. And then I tried to get lower, but then the bar was hitting the ground. I could also still feel a great burn in my hamstrings and in my posterior chain, so that's not going to be a problem. And I'm definitely really looking forward to implementing this in my actual deadlifts. All right, so I have decided to put the cut on hold. It's not that I'm giving up or anything. I just haven't lost any weight. And I know it's definitely because I'm doing something wrong. It's just that I haven't really completely figured out what that is yet. So I am planning to start it up again after the end of the block, just because if it's not really helping me lose any weight, I don't want it interfering with my strength. And I do think, not to make any excuses or anything, but I do think that it's mostly water, because like when I just like push my finger into my stomach, like I can feel my muscle fibers. So I am probably going to increase my potassium a little bit. Just switch some of my carb sources around just so I can have like a banana instead of an apple. I also want to slightly lower my sodium intake. I have realized that I think I might be taking a little bit too much, because I started just like pouring salt onto my eggs so that I would be able to get a little bit more sodium. But I also forgot that like when I am prepping, like I just pour like a bunch of salt and like a bunch of other seasonings on my meat. So that's probably where a good portion of my sodium is coming from, and I don't really think that I need to have any more. I'm also going to start walking a couple days out of the week just to get some extra blood flow and probably sweat a little bit more and burn fat. I also want to decrease the time that I take in between sets. So for some workouts, like the lunges, I do need to take like 3-5 minutes, just because I'm doing 40 reps in a set, and I'm not really able to recover within like 1-2 minutes. So far I have been able to make sure that nothing goes over 2 hours for a single session. But the goal is to have at least one workout be like an hour, probably like an hour and a half. And then my workout's probably floating around 145, 150, just so that I can keep up my heart rate in between my workouts, and hopefully that will help with the burning of fat. I'm also, this time, I'm not going to just drop a bunch of protein. I think I want to have like a certain standard for all my macros. So, like, carbs can't go below like 300, fat can't go below like 100, 105, and then protein will have to be above like 200. Pretty much just so I can keep everything all across the board running smoothly. And I'm not necessarily doing it because I like feel a certain way about having a higher body fat, or that I just want to be leaner than I currently am. It's mostly just because on any given day, like sometimes in the morning I'm 243, sometimes I'm 241, and I am planning to compete in the 242, and I do not want to end up having to compete in like the higher weight classes, like I think it's like 275 or 280. I also think that's partly the reason why I haven't lost any weight yet, just because I really don't care. But I do think that it would be good for me from a competitive standpoint and just from an all around health standpoint, just to shave off some of this extra fat. But that's pretty much it. I am hoping this works, and if not, I can just always eat a couple pizzas and gain like 30 pounds. And I'll see you next time.